Today's video, we're going to be installing an AC compressor on an Acura TL because this one went out. So we're going to go ahead and change the compressor. First thing we're going to do when we're doing that, we're going to drain the coolant, since we're going to have to take off this fan and radiator shroud setup. There's a petcock for the radiator with the drain on the bottom. I found some like 1/2 inch or 3/8 hose, and I'm gonna drain it into that bucket. I'm gonna reuse it. It's a clean bucket, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in under there and start draining the coolant. You might need some pliers, or if you can get it by hand, perfect. You're gonna unscrew it like you would any other bolt. And you can see it's starting to drain. To make it go faster, let me see if I can record it. To go faster, you're going to take out this radiator cap. Yeah, it didn't really do what I was expecting. Anyways, sit here, let it bleed, and once it's done, we can start taking off the radiator hoses. Now we're going to take off this panel right here. I got a pick and a upholstery removal tool. Alright, now we're going to squeeze this clamp to take off this upper radiator hose. Once you lock it in place, it'll just slide right down. And you twist it as you pull out. And there you go. Now we're going to take everything off that's connected to the fan shroud. First one is this electrical fan on the passenger side. You push down, pull it out, and the harness down here is still connected to the shroud. So I'm going to try to do it by hand. If not, I'm going to use some pliers for the mount. Okay, I got it. So now the harness, I just had to squeeze on these two ends, and it went through the bracket. Next, I'm under the car driver's side fan. There's a connection right here. Same thing. Plug it. Take the squeeze plug. Now we're going to take off the lower radiator hose. I'm going to squeeze this clamp down and take off the hose, and I got my bucket to catch the any coolant to fall through. Now we're going to take this top mounts, 10 millimeters. Now this should just come out straight and evenly. Now you can see all the space we have to work with. Now if you got to change the radiator and or fans, you can disassemble this a little bit farther. Just a couple bolts all the way around. But now we're good to work on the AC unit. Now we're going to go ahead and take off the serpentine belt. On the tensioner pulley, it's a 14 millimeter bolt. I got a breaker bar with a 12 point just to give me the most angle that I can, and it's actually seat on the bolt, and then I'm going to pull it up counterclockwise from this position and take off this belt. Alright, next step is to remove the lines, high and low pressure. Make sure you take this to a shop to get the AC system vacuumed out, because you don't want any of the refrigerant and the stuff to evaporate in your face, and it's under pressure. So I'm going to start with the low side, 10 millimeter. The nut is right here from the bottom. It's a 10mm also. Now we got to take this power wire for the magnet. That's just a push pin. I don't know if you caught that. I bumped the camera. These are just really snug up together. Okay, I'm going to show you the 4 mount bolts before I do them, because I'm not going to have a good angle to show you like actually taking it off. So there's the top right one, bottom right, top left, bottom left. Oh well, I don't know if I recorded all 4 bolts taken off because the camera was off when I looked at it right now. And if I didn't record it, I am sorry. But 4 bolts, 4 long bolts, and now we can take it off. Here's the old one. Okay, now you can see this is the bracket we're gonna have to cross over to this new one, and also this little wiring harness. But now, yeah, we're gonna take off these 2, put brand new seal, put it over, and put this bracket over. Okay, the bracket is a 7/32, which is awkward, but alright, so we ran into a problem where these 2 bolts are stripped. Might have not been a 7/16, but that was the only thing I can get on that felt comfortable. That, or either these things are just super tight on there. So before drilling them out, I'm going to try to do anything I can to get them off as a whole bit instead of drilling it, because I don't want to ruin this bracket. Okay, so what I had to do was just literally drill out the old ones. I mean, I could have showed you, but I was just trying to get it done. But all I did was just strip them, or yeah, screw them out, drill them out. So now what I had to do is I got some, it's kind of hard, this is M6 by 1.0, 15mm, 50 millimeters long. So now that we got that, we can go ahead and put it back in. After that 45-minute little side delay, she's good to go. Torque down. I don't have the torque specs for these 2 specific bolts, so once I hit the stop, just give it another 1/6 of a turn, 1/8 of a turn or so. I don't want to strip the heads of them, especially it being Allen keys. So, all right, now we can go ahead and redo the line seals. Now we can put this grounding wire on. I used a wire brush. To clear off any of the paint. Okay, we're going to torque the bolts to 33 foot-pounds. Now we're going to put the low pressure line on with the new seal. Put the bolts in. This gets torqued down to 7.2 foot-pounds. Same torque on this. Now we can go ahead and stick this connection back in. Okay, time to put the belt back on. Alright, now we can put the radiator and fan shroud setup back in. Alright, now that it's sitting here, we can put our brackets back in to hold it in. Now we bring our fan connection up, plug it in, put this bracket in its bracket holder, or the wiring harness in the bracket holder. Put this up radiator hose back on. Now we're going to go under and put the radiator hose and electronic connector in. Put the radiator hose back in. And since we're down here, now that we can fill up the radiator, make sure your petcock is closed off. Make sure your clamp is on the lower radiator hose, and we can start filling it up. I got this self-bleeding kit. It's a funnel that's sealed into the radiator cap. It has a pass-through, of course, so the coolant can go in. And when we run the system to bleed out the air pockets come up, bleed out, and then the coolant gets sucked in. It's a pretty cool little kit. I would suggest picking one up on Amazon. Okay, now I filled up the rest with some distilled water because the actual coolant finished off, even though I didn't drop any when I bled it. So we're pretty much just topping off the system. Now we're going to start the car, turn the heat on high, and wait for it to warm up, and you're going to see bubbles come out. Okay, there's not that many bubbles that came out. To bleed or to pressurize the system to force the air pockets out, I'm going to put the normal radiator cap back on. Drive it around, make sure heat's coming out of the car, and then let it cool off overnight, or if you have a full day, let it cool off throughout the day, and then just top it off whatever is left over. Other than that, that's how you change the air compressor. Hopefully this video helps y'all, and y'all have a good one.